What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the BGB Media YouTube channel. Today we got a special review because we're reviewing the series Trials of Europa, which is going to be releasing on Netflix, all 6 episodes, February 19th. Now, this is a German sci-fi television series. So, with that being said, I watched the dub version. And I'm instantly going to say that I thought the dubbing was really well because while there are people speaking German, there's also people speaking English, and I felt like the sound mixing was done really well because I don't know if you've all ever experienced it, but I've seen dubs where like the dubbing is like boom, and then the natural the natural actor is like here. It is just like, yeah, that's like super noticeable. So I will say that it's done really well, and I also went back and looked at it by the native language of German, and it's not a big difference at all, so you can enjoy it either way. I know some people are very much adamant about watching things of its native language or whatnot, but I feel like you're not you're not by any means missing out by however you choose to watch it. But with that being said, so the first other big thing I want to also, before I get into this, is say that for all the folks who love these really popular franchises in Maze Runner and Divergent and Hunger Games, I mean, this fits right in the same party. This is another dystopian style of media here. And while there is a void right now in this genre, I think this is a really good time for this to have been released. There's, the Hunger Game books are returning, but like there's nothing on the big screen or nothing on your televisions really focusing on this. So I think this is a really good time to really recapture that audience who really loves this genre. But what's happening in this is that we are in 2074. And there's been a mysterious global disaster that's really ripped apart Europe. So now Europe is broken into all these mini sections, mini states, tribes. Europe now being Europa, the new Europe, shall we say. But with that being said, with all these new divisions and whatnot, you pretty much have everybody trying to claim dominance and, survival and, even peace, but ultimately war at times. With the surrounding tribes. But we're focusing on this one tribe where you have these 3 siblings who now are separated and now forced to forge their own paths moving forward. They all are split up. They're ultimately all trying to get all back together, but it's going to be a little bit of a journey before that's able to happen. So like you have a lot of action going on, and you're basically being able to see the display of what the new Europe, aka Europa, is. With that being said, one of the siblings has come into possession with this powerful cube, which every tribe is aware of this cube, that if they have possession of this cube, it possesses the power and abilities to take their tribes to the next level in dominance or peace or whatever their motive may be. So that's what you have going on here. Look, for the season 1, I think this one does a really good foundation in setting things up for a potential trilogy of seasons. So 3 seasons I think will absolutely suffice of what I feel they want to do here, because there's a lot of possibilities. There's, obviously the expansion of different tribes, obviously the quest of the cube, and then the quest of the family, the siblings getting back together. So, while this season was pretty much laying down the foundation of what's happening in Europa, laying the psychology behind each of the tribes and really what their motives are, and, also building up some characters as well. Along with that, too, I will say that while they are building up some characters, I also think that it wouldn't have been a bad idea to kind of know more about the backstory of some of these characters, because some of these characters are so abstract, you're kind of wondering how did they either come into a place of power or how did they come into, like, how they are, their demeanor and whatnot. So like, and I don't think that's a knock towards the series. I think it's just something that a viewer or fan will be curious of. I mean, I won't even lie. I instantly want to see was there any source material on this, because typically in dystopian type of media, then there usually is source materials. All those other things had books and whatnot. So I was kind of curious what this one did, and it doesn't. But like, I mean, that's good. I think that is good to make people want to be interested and want to know more about these characters and really expanding their knowledge behind the tribes and whatnot. But again, that's what season 1 really did. It really laid down the foundation of what's to come. So, you know, it's not a slow burn at all. There's absolutely some action and whatnot, but like, I think it's one of those ones where like, if you're a fan of this, you're going to be instantly craving for more, because like it just introduced you to, you know, all the properties, and like now you just want to see things transpire. You want to see more of the action. You want to see, you know, more of the conflict and, you know, the climax of everything. So like, I think that's pretty cool. And again, I thought season 1 was really good into doing that. With that being said, I thought the score was really dope. I mean, the theme before you even get to the title screen gets you so hyped. You're going to be so excited for all the stuff that happens in the episode. The visuals were really good and really important, because anytime you're talking about dystopian settings, I think it has to create that imagination for the viewers to really gravitate to it. Like, you really want to see how different each of these different tribes are, and they need to look drastically different. And it's almost to the point where you kind of build your own alliance, where you start thinking like, well, I would have been part of that because that aesthetically looks the way I would want to survive or whatnot. Because you do have tribes who are militant sound, technologically advanced, one who are completely avoiding technology, and then you have the scavengers. So like, you got these different, very different in personality abstracts of tribes. So you want to make sure that the settings really fit a custom, and that for sure, I thought they did an amazing job in. But I will say too, there also was some characters that was completely rootless, but like also didn't have any direction, which you know, maybe it's more to come. But for this season, you kind of want to like, I am a little curious about that. But you know, also, while all of these other properties that I mentioned are pretty much pointed towards the young adult audience, which this is as well too, by all means, you will be caught off guard, because there are some characters who goes beyond that young adult audience. So yes, expect some really good gore, blood splatter, some vulgar language, and just some really sinister characters that you just won't see coming from nowhere. And I am, you know, a fan of one of the characters in particular that I'm talking about. But at the same time too, some of these characters do not hold back. So like some of the characters that you may quickly invest in, well, you may not have much time with them, and that's just the truth. But I can't stress enough, I'm on board for season 2, and I can't wait to see what's to come. So I think it's very important that people check this out, because I feel like this was one of those type of ones where they kind of threw out the bait to kind of see what type of audience they can reel in. And I think that really does determine if we get a season 2. But for a season 1, be patient with it. Really, you know, use your imagination to kind of explore some backstories if you want. But ultimately have fun with it. And, you know, season 2, I think, should be really awesome in bringing this all together. And I think, again, season 1 did a really good job in laying down the foundation of things to come. So, but yes, Trials of Europa is dropping February 19th. It's 6 episodes. They're about an hour each. Check it out, folks. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and I'll get back to you very soon.